Hello and welcome to Better Business Podcast. My name is Alexi, and today I want to talk about Barbeques Galore. Yes, that company has recently gone into liquidation. Well, not all of it anyway. Some of it is owned as a franchise, but the majority of stores, I think 75, if I'm not mistaken, have gone into liquidation. It's been a bit of a surprise to say the least because it's such a big brand which has been around for nearly half a century. I think they opened up in 1976, if I'm not mistaken. And there is a store, I think, just about everywhere in Australia. So it's such a pity for a brand like that to go out of business. But let's hope that the remaining stores that are owned by the franchisees can do something better. What I wanted to talk about is discuss potentially some of the issues that similar businesses would be facing right now, because a lot of businesses are operating, using a very old approach, very old mindset, even if you like, to run businesses like that. And there's a few things that could be optimized, in my opinion, in order to avoid going into liquidation like Barbeques Galore. So with businesses like that, I think it's very important to understand how they make their money. So Barbeques Galore sells a lot of high-end brands. Well, with high-end brands, you don't really get a big profit margin. I think 15 to 25% is probably what you can hope for. I mean, based on your volumes and stuff. But if you're looking to buy a Weber or some sort of a Kamado Joe, I'm pretty sure that the margins are fairly slim. And it's much better for businesses like that to push for their own brands, which is something that Barbeques Galore has been doing. They've got a brand called Ziggy, and I think that brand probably didn't take off as well as it could, but certainly lots of them have been circling around. Now, with businesses like that, you also need to understand that you need the repetition. You need people to come back and buy other things as well, accessories, charcoal, there's rubs and seasonings, all that sort of stuff really creates a lot more margin and really good upsells if a person comes in. Now, people have been blaming everything from property to immigration to really piece this together as to why Barbeques Galore is going out of business. Well, property has been an issue. It's going up in price. The dwellings that people buy now and live in are smaller compared to before. And I guess with immigration, the culture of people coming to Australia doesn't, may not share the barbecue culture as much. Hence why people may not be buying as many barbecues. Now, I am not saying these are the reasons, but this is what's circling around. And also, one of the things that sort of popped up was the marketplace that basically is allowing people to easily sell their secondhand barbecues, which could be preventing people from buying new ones. Well, all these reasons may have an impact to some degree, but I think it's very important to understand the model itself and as to what actually affects the business and how business can actually be optimized in order to stay afloat. Because if you look at the Barbeques Galore's profit and loss, I am pretty sure they've declared a revenue of $176 million in 2024 and a loss of about 16 million, if I'm not mistaken. So with those sort of figures, you are definitely going downhill quite rapidly. And unless you're able to turn it around, that business will not be able to sustain its operations much further. So first of all, let's talk about what small businesses can learn from this experience, especially if you're in retail. And here is just some of my thoughts as to what could be optimized. First of all, businesses like Barbeques Galore really rely on their stock clearances. Now, if you do that enough, a lot of people really start to expect that there's going to be another sale coming up. So you've got to be really careful with stock clearances. But at the same time, you really need to make sure that your floor is cleared of all the dead stock, because you can't just keep, keeping that stock forever. Now, in order to approach that, I've seen a few businesses use a 3PL or drop shipping methods in order to be able to overcome the whole delivery of the products and holding stock. So if you look into that, you may be able to optimize your logistics quite significantly, especially if you stock a lot of different products and require lots of warehousing. Now, the idea behind stock is to hope that you've got high profit margins on majority of your SKUs and try to get rid of the items that are not selling as well. I think if Barbeques Galore with 95 stores around the country could really optimize, let's say, at least 20% of their products, this would have really allowed them to focus on other things as well. Now, as a bigger picture, I think it's very important to keep reviewing your numbers and making sure you analyze the actual stores as well. So surely with, so many stores around the country, there'd be some stores that be underperforming and other stores would definitely be, doing a lot better. It's very important to understand what the reason behind those is and to be able to address that as soon as possible. Is it the staff? Is it the fact that the marketing is not working very well? Is it the fact that the products don't meet specific demand? Now, I haven't been to Barbeques Galore in a while. Probably last year was the last time I went there. But last I've been there, I found that another store that I've been to has exactly the same products. Now, this could be the McDonald's approach to offering the same sort of products, but I find that having products that's specific to the market that lives around that area would probably be a lot better, in my opinion, because there's obviously there's obviously the income bracket, there's obviously the product range, there's obviously the types of products that people are likely to buy, and that can all optimize the operations quite substantially as well. Now, I think with a lot of light products and stuff, there's obviously two ways you can go about them. You can try to sell more online, get people into subscription, or get people to come in a lot more to pick them up as well. Now, store visits is one of the main KPIs for physical retailers. That's what you need, and there's obviously a lot of metrics to do with that. I mean, the good stores that are doing well are keeping a statistic on how much it's actually worth for each person to walk into a store. I know golf stores are doing that really, really well with those sort of numbers, and that allows them to, look at that as to how they can bring people into the store to sell more because they know that the person walking in buys X amount of products. It would be the same with, Barbecue Galores and any other brand as well. It's very important to look at those figures. And then I guess finally, in relation to reviewing stores, it'd be important to see what could actually be sold online versus in store, because the online store itself should not be just replicating exactly what the online and the physical experience is. It really needs to focus on the right sort of products. It really needs to push either for walk-ins or potentially to sell products to clear stock, create that repetition in a way that basically engages with the business and creates the actual profit for the business too. Now, in terms of marketing, I mean, every business obviously wants to do better, but I thought I'd just share one of the ideas with you. There's a business in Chandler in Brisbane called Augusta Farms. Now, these guys, I'm pretty sure they own the barbecue store next door, and I think it's a perfect tandem for anybody wanting to, buy a barbecue, because essentially you've got very high traffic of people coming in and buying meat. Now, these guys have got amazing meat. They've got lots of different varieties of it. And I'm pretty sure they own this barbecue shack business next door, which sells Kamado Joes and a bunch of other things as well. What's even better is that you can see some of those barbecues in action sometimes. So as you go in there, you can see how the meat is actually being cooked. And every time you go in there just to pick up some meat or sausages, you walk out with some rubs, sauces, and other things as well. So, why not for a business like Barbecue Galore to potentially partner with with some sort of a meat business, or at least open up somewhere nearby where that foot traffic can really be increased. I mean, I know it's quite a big move for a chain like that, but at the same time, you are aligned with a certain type of customers coming in to buy a barbecue, and these are not cheap items that people are buying. There's other things as well, and I think in terms of marketing, it's very important to understand that there's always somebody who has your market before you. And I guess for that very reason, if you look into a business like Bunnings, for example, that's how they are able to launch so many new lines as well, because they've already got the space, they've got the food traffic, and then for them, it's just about bringing more and more things in under the umbrella in order to actually make a profit. Now, these guys do a lot of due diligence before they bring in new products. And for that reason, I think Bunnings is continuously doing well in terms of their profit. And if you look into a business like that, there's typically one big driver that really gets people into the store itself. Now, Bunnings has got multiple avenues. I mean, for general public, people are coming in there to buy some, building materials or potentially plants if they're in the market. And by the way, these guys are not the cheapest in any of those avenues, but the way they position themselves is aligned specifically with a market. They've also got a lot of tradies basically using their power pass to come in all the time to buy building materials and pick up things as well. Now, are they the cheapest? No, they're not. Are they the most convenient? Well, most of the time, yes, because there's so many stores around, and these stores are able to obviously help out many tradies within the operations of their business. So that is a very distinct scenario specifically for Bunnings. But if I was to look into Barbecue Galore, I'd look into reviewing things like that in order to make things better. Anyway, I hope it's not too late for those remaining franchisees to optimize their business. I just thought I'd share a few things from my perspective, because there's so many retailers who are relying on one way to run a business. They haven't really evolved so much. I think it's very important to see what else can be done. If you guys have got any thoughts, please feel free to share. It'd be good to see what you guys think could have helped Barbecue Galore. And I'd hate to see more businesses shut down because of things like that. Look, it's 2026. You got to really understand that you can't stay the same. You got to innovate. You got to do things in line with how the economy is going, and make sure that you lighten up those overheads. If you're paying a lot for rent, if you're paying a lot for logistics and stuff, there are ways to do things better and smarter. Anyway, my name's Alexi. This is Better Business Podcast. I hope this is helpful to you, and would love to hear your feedback. So please make sure to send me a message or comment below this video. Have a good one.